The Achaemenid Empire or Achaemenid Empire, also known as the Persian Empire or First Persian Empire, was an Iranian empire founded by Cyrus the Great of the Achaemenid dynasty in 550 BC. Based in modern-day Iran, it was the largest empire by that point in history, spanning a total of 5.5 million square kilometers. The empire spanned from the Balkans and Egypt in the west, most of West Asia, the majority of Central Asia to the northeast, and the Indus Valley to the southeast. Around the 7th century BC, the region of Persia in the southwestern Persian, the Iranian plateau, was settled by the Persians. From Persia, Cyrus rose and defeated the Median Empire, as well as Lydia and the New Babylonian Empire, marking the establishment of a new imperial polity under the Achaemenid dynasty. In the modern era, the Achaemenid Empire has been recognized for its imposition of a successful model of centralized bureaucratic administration. Its multicultural policy, building complex infrastructures such as road systems and organized postal system, the use of official languages across its territories, and the development of civil services, including its possession of a large professional army. Its advancements inspired the implementation of similar styles of governance by a variety of later empires. Cyrus the Great founded the empire as a multi-state empire, governed from 4 capital cities, Pasargadae, Babylon, Susa and Ecbatana. The Achaemenids allowed a certain amount of regional autonomy in the form of the satrapy system. A satrapy was an administrative unit usually organized on a geographical basis. A satrap was a governor who administered the region. A general supervised military recruitment and ensured order, and the state secretary kept the official records. The general and the state secretary reported directly to the satrap as well as the central government. At different times, there were between 20 and 30 satrapies. Cyrus the Great created an organized army, including the Immortals unit, consisting of 10,000 highly trained soldiers. Cyrus also formed an innovative postal system throughout the empire, based on several little stations called chaparkhane. The Persian Darik was the first gold coin, which, along with a similar silver coin, the Siglos, introduced the bimetallic monetary standard of the Achaemenids, which has continued until today. This was accomplished by Darius I, who reinforced the empire and expanded Persepolis as a ceremonial capital. He revolutionized the economy by replacing it on silver and gold coinage. Due to the ethnocultural diversity of the subject nations under the rule of Persia, its enormous geographic size, and the constant struggle for power by regional competitors, the creation of a professional army was necessary for both maintenance of the peace and to enforce the authority of the king in cases of rebellion and foreign threat. Cyrus managed to create a strong land army, using it to advance in his campaigns in Babylonia, Lydia and Asia Minor, which after his death was used by his son Cambyses II in Egypt against Psamtik III. Cyrus would die battling a local Iranian insurgency in the empire before he could have a chance to develop a naval force. The task would fall to Darius I, who would officially give Persians their own royal navy to allow them to engage their enemies on multiple seas of this vast empire, from the Black Sea and the Aegean Sea to the Persian Gulf, Ionian Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. In contrast to other European armies, the Achaemenid army was a light army. Traditional Persian warfare consists of light armor and little face-to-face combat. The Middle Eastern heat was so intense that it necessitated the need to decrease the amount of armor worn by the soldiers. Metal was also so expensive at that time, therefore most of the Achaemenid soldiers, except for cavalry, did not wear heavy metallic body protection because of their emphasis on rapid advance and archery. Soldiers mostly wore tunics, which were loose clothing reaching the knees that were padded with linen as a protective gear against soaring arrows. The Persians were mostly armed with spears, arrows, and bows, and so they did not need armor as compared to the Greeks, who used heavy weaponry like axes and metal swords that would easily severely injure a fighter close by. Religious celebration has been described as a remarkable feature of the Achaemenid Empire. The Old Testament reports that Persian king Cyrus the Great released the Jewish people from the Babylonian captivity in 539 and 530 BC and permitted them to return to their homeland. Cyrus the Great assisted in the restoration of the sacred places of various cities. It was during the Achaemenid period that Zoroastrianism reached southwestern Iran, where it came to be accepted by the rulers, and so they became a defining element of Persian culture. The religion was not only accompanied by a formalization of the concepts and divinities of the Iranian traditional pantheon, but also introduced several novel ideas, including that of free will. Mithra was worshipped in the empire. His temples and symbols were the most widespread. Most people bore names related to him, and most festivals were dedicated to him. By 330 BC, the Achaemenid Empire was conquered by Alexander the Great, an ardent admirer of Cyrus. The conquest marked a key achievement in the ongoing campaign of his Macedonian Empire. Alexander's death marks the beginning of the Hellenistic period, when most of the fallen Achaemenid Empire's territory came under the rule of the Ptolemaic Kingdom and the Seleucid Empire, both of which had emerged as successors to the Macedonian Empire in 321 BC. Hellenistic rule remained in place for almost a century before the Iranian elites of the Central Plateau reclaimed power under the Persian Empire. Thanks for attention and subscribe to get more videos. Support me with your likes and comments.